I, like most of you probably watching right now, want to become an optometrist. But what do you do if something gets in your way? Either you fail out of optometry school or just find yourself not being able to get into optometry school. Well, here's the video for you because real life is messy and I'm here to help you make the most of it. What's up YouTube, it's Josh Reese, welcome back to my channel, and the number one thing you need to do right off before you do anything else is sit down with yourself and reevaluate. Figure out what it is that you want. And I'm here to tell you that so many people just keep going and keep going and keep going without realizing why they want to be an optometrist, and that there are some options out there that might fit their life better anyway. So go ahead and meditate for a while, figure out what you want, and I'm here to break down the 3 conclusions that you can come to. Conclusion number 1, you still want to become an optometrist at all costs. So here's how you do it. You keep grinding. Do you need to improve your GPA? Do you need to improve your OAT? Do you need to get other experiences that show the schools that you love optometry as much as you think you do? Or if you failed out of school, is it time to transfer schools? So if it is GPA, the ways that you do that is you have to get out of the situation you're in right now because it's not working. What you need to do is you can either transfer to an easier school like a community college and get good grades in the classes that matter. Now the schools will see that, but your GPA will also be higher. I know people with abysmal GPAs and their next step is to go to another college that's a little bit easier and have an easier time with your prerequisite classes. You can also just retake classes. Some people just need 1 or 2 classes that they failed or almost failed to be higher so that school can consider them. If that's you, if you're just that close, you can just consider retaking a few classes. And one thing that people don't talk about enough is you can raise your GPA by going to a master's program for a year. Yes, that's going to be more money, but let's say you did one of those 1-year master's programs. That'll raise your GPA a ton and show them at a harder school level that you have got what it takes. If you get a 4.0 at like a master's in biomedical science, that'll show that school that you're serious and that you have what it takes to be an optometrist. So you can go to graduate school and get a better GPA in grad school, and that'll also raise your GPA. Now, if it's a low OAT score holding you back, there's no way around that. You're gonna have to retake it. And you only get a certain number of retakes with the OAT, so just plan ahead. The number one reason people end up having to retake it is because they were too stressed the day of. They were in the flow of it, they weren't in the right mindset, and it's not that they didn't know the information, they just flopped because they cracked under pressure. So make sure you can reduce stress and take those precious retakes seriously. Now, as far as if you think your GPA and OAT were good, but you just didn't have prereqs or shadowing, which is less of the time, I don't know very many people who get rejected because of that. Just call up everyone you know, shadow as much as you can, get a job and work in the optometric field if you can, and make sure you stay in close contacts with the schools to make sure you're doing what you need to be doing. Most schools will tell you what your application needs, and you can spend that year focusing exactly in on what you need to improve just because you sent a simple email to the schools you're interested in. And as far as the people who fail out of optometry school, it happens more often than you think. 1 or 2 people in every school every year won't make it. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And that's okay. What you need to do is you need to think, do I really want to continue with this school? Because you can re-enroll. A lot of schools will allow you to repeat a year. But what you can also do is transfer schools. Go ahead, just like the step before, email your school, stay in close contact with them. Ask what it would take for me to transfer. Will any credits transfer? How easy it would be to transfer, because people do transfer optometry schools and that's okay. Conclusion number 2, you still have the same goal of improving people's lives through vision, but you just need a different way to do that. Now, of course, you can just go become an ophthalmologist, but for people who didn't get into optometry school, realistically, you might not get into medical school either. So I'm gonna focus on other things besides being a different type of doctor. The first thing you can do is be an optician. Now, a lot of opticians don't make a ton of money, but if you're a full-time optician that's good at their job and you can get your licensed dispensing optician's license, you can make a lot more money than you think. And so you can still improve people's vision by being an optician full-time. Plenty of people do it for a full-time job, and it brings in an okay amount of money. Because if money isn't the reason you're doing optometry, you can still improve people's lives through vision by being an optician. Another thing you can do is you can be a vision therapist. Now, a lot of optometrists are looking for vision therapists to work at their clinic that if they specialize in vision development and vision therapy. And so it's going to be a nice and secure job that is going to grow and grow. You can become a COVT or Certified Optometric Vision Therapist, and full-time vision therapists can bring in a lot of money to practices. And so you can continue that dream of helping people through vision with a job that only requires on-the-job training, just like opticians too. And the most important thing is you don't need to be an optometrist to be an office owner or to own a practice. To be a business owner doesn't mean you have to be an optometrist. Sure, it's easier if you're the one who creates a business and you're the doctor bringing in most of the money, but you can be an optician or a vision therapist or neither of them and start the office, take the risk on you, get the loans and the leases through you, and hire an optometrist and hire front desk people, and you're the business owner. You don't need to just be an optometrist to save people's vision. And conclusion number 3 is that you might be just as happy in any other job out there. And that's okay. It'll save you time and another year of grinding if you can just go to another graduate program that doesn't start the same time every year. An MBA or a law degree, something that's not as strenuous as optometry school. Not saying that those degrees aren't strenuous, but you can do something and become someone that's not an optometrist, that's not as rigorous academic-wise, that'll still be just as fulfilling in the real world. And if you're in it for the money, the most lucrative thing to do is probably don't go to grad school. You can just go out there and be an entrepreneur. Because you don't need a degree or a license in something to provide value. I know there's a bunch of YouTube courses you can be whoever you want to be, because the last point I want to make is that you've made it this far and you're still going to become someone great. It'll feel like a failure now, but I'm sure I won't be as successful as 90% of you out there. So go find out what you really want and go after it. And I'll be here to support you through your journey. So thank you for watching until the end of this video. Make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, and leave a comment down below. And we'll see you in the next one.